Hey guys, it's Sketchshock, and I'm going to talk about another one of the most obscure Sonic games, one of the ones that not a lot of people know about. But if you're like me and spend half your time on the internet and watch nothing but obscure Sonic stuff, you probably know about this game. This game, however, I'm talking about is Sonic Mars, named for 32X. This would have been a 3D Sonic game, and it would have had Fang the Sniper, which is pretty cool because this would have probably been his return because, as we all know, during the 8-bit area, Fang was one of those characters. He was having a pretty good life before he just fell into entire obscurity, which would have been cool to see him in the game. Anyway, the game would have had a bird's eye view that of similar to Sonic 3D Blast. The game would have had just basic 3D, and nothing really is said about the story. However, there are quite a few screenshots for what the 32X version would have been like. The graphics look pretty good for what the 32X could show, and it would have been pretty good to have another game released on the 32X. However, we already know by this point that this game was cancelled and fell into obscurity, because no one really cares about the 32X version. It's actually the Sega Saturn version that everyone really cares about. And that's because this version probably had the most promising development story out of any cancelled Sonic game. I'm gonna get into that in a second. And I just want to show off a few more screenshots because Sonic 3D, almost did something. Sonic Mars looked pretty promising for what it showed off. And then the game was cancelled. They removed it and they wanted it to go to the Sega Saturn as the 32X ended up being a marketing failure. So, once the game was moved onto the Sega Saturn, there was actually a lot more stuff revealed for what the game probably could have been like. First of all, there were a whole lot of playable characters, and there's even more that I didn't cover. I'm just covering the stuff that I thought was interesting personally, because I want to get over the interesting stuff. I think there was more characters in the games as they have models on Sonic Retro. Go check out their site. And I'm not sure if they would have been playable or not, but they look like they would have had like a 3D model like Sonic's. So, the characters we know would have been in there is Sonic, of course, because it's a Sonic game, and Tails would have been playable too. He would have had a gameplay similar to Sonic's. There's nothing else really known about this. We don't know if he would have been able to fly or just another Sonic with a different story. And Knuckles would have been in this game too. Interesting though is he would have had an overhead view, and here's a model for him, and it just looks pretty cool looking. Although I must say I'm not very used to seeing Knuckles look like that. I'm kind of better off seeing his face from the side as seeing what the front of his face looks like. Either that or his model just looks weird, one of the two. Then there's Amy Rose. Amy Rose would have also been playable in this game. Sadly though, she never left the playing stage. They have a model for her, which is strange, but we don't know anything else besides that, and that's kind of all. She would have been a playable character. She was gonna use Sonic's model, but slightly tinkered to look more like Amy, and that's about it. Then there is Tiara. Now Tiara would have been Sonic's love interest in the game, and she would have had a 2D perspective and playthrough, which is pretty cool because everyone else seems to have their own unique thing, and this game would have had quite a few game modes. There's also an entire storyline for the game too. If you want to read that, of course, go to Sonic Retro. It's where I got most of my information from this game from. And then there are the Metal Sonic Beta designs. These are probably the most weirdest designs I have ever seen Sega come up with. These are reaching Sonic Boom character design levels of weird. Like, one of these has a 6-pack. I'll let you decide for yourself what you think that is. Like, these designs are the weirdest designs I have ever seen. There might be only one that even comes a little bit close to looking similar to Sonic. Like, how did they go from having 32X Sonic from Sonic Mars looking somewhat similar to real Sonic to just having these weird looking characters? And they probably all wouldn't have been betas. They probably would have all been their own unique boss fights, as they have like Mark II, Mark III stuff on it. They're not just all called Metal Sonic, which is pretty cool. Anyway, there are a few cut levels from the game. Well, all the levels are cut as the game is cancelled. And the game had like this weird angle. Sometimes the levels were just straight up 3D, and sometimes they had this weird spherical way. It just kind of looked weird to the eye. Maybe it's because I'm not used to that. And that's about it that I know for this game. I didn't really bother. I just wanted to look at the stuff that I thought personally was interesting. So if you want to learn about it, I'll have the link in the description for Sonic Retro. Oh, but I think there is one more character that I missed, and that is I believe Tiara's father, Professor Gazebo. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but I don't really care. And I think he would have just been like one of those characters that's just kind of, it's kind of like how characters help you out in games where you can just talk to them or chat. I'm not really sure what the game would have been like besides what we know. There's not much we know about him, we just have a few sketches of what he looks like, which is pretty cool. And that's about all I know for Sonic 32X, or Sonic Mars, whatever you want to call it. So, if you really do want to learn about more of this, I'll have the link in the description, and yeah, that's about it.